Okay, this is easy. Just a short little 12-inch supply coming from the original PEX hot water. And that is going to come into the top of the diverter valve. And then this was the original piece that went on to the hot water supply. And this is what's going to go down to the tank. Okay, I was going to use 3/8 hose and decided to use 1/4 inch inside diameter, 7/16 outside, just to make it a little smaller for the run since I have to run so far with it. So it's coming from the valve that's inside there, and it's going to run down through these holes that we've drilled and come out the bottom, go across. But I want to make sure that the pump doesn't cycle and that the water heater has enough. So turning it on and the pump's working fine. And we'll see if the water heater gets hot. Alright, starting to warm up. And there it's hot. You can see how much water you wasted if you did not recycle it back to the tank. So the 1/4 inch seems to be working fine. I decided the easiest way would be to run it underneath from the sink to the passenger side and up inside and across to the water tank. And that's the front tire right there. And look what I found up here. There's a rubber plug right here. And if you pull that rubber plug out, there's a big old hole. And the hole goes right up inside. And I can just drill a hole in this plug and make a real tight mouse-proof opening for the hose to run through. Anyway, that'll work. A lot of stuff in here, but now I've got to figure out a way to get that up in here. Oh, what is this? What is that? Look at that. There's another big old hole here. And guess what? I can see light down there from the other hole. So that's how the tube's going to come up, right through there. It's kind of a funky piece of sticky rubber they put on top of that. Anyway, I have another one back here, but I think I'll use that one right there. And I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to run the tube underneath the seats. It seems like you have to tear everything apart to do a simple job on the Roadtrek. By the way, if you want to take off this cover, there's just 2 screws. Just pull this rubber back, and there's a screw on this side of it, and there's a screw on that side of it, and it just hooks in right here and right here. Okay, the back side of this little tank cover, it goes across the front, has a board to hold it up, so there's just enough room for the hose to lay in right here under that board and run from one seat to the other. I'm using a 1/4 inch pipe elbow to a 5/16 hose barb. The reason I'm using a 5/16, even though I'm using a 1/4 inch hose, is because I want to just make sure I'm not restricting the flow any more than I have to, and so far it seems to be okay. So we'll see what happens when I get this screwed in. It's just about done. This is for a 1/4 inch pipe, you use a 7/16 drill bit, and I did get a little bit of plastic down there, but I'm not worried about it. I think the filter will catch that if I can get this to go in straight. Just heating up this end because it's a 1/4 inch tube, and I'm using a 5/16 fitting so the flow isn't restricted. I'm just going to heat this up so it slides over the fitting. Let's see. Yeah, that's gonna work great. And I probably don't even need a hose clamp since there's no pressure on it, and that's gonna be tight. But we'll see. If it leaks, I'll put one on it. There it is. Okay, that tube runs underneath. I don't know if you can see it under there, but I'm not gonna crawl under to show you. And it comes up into a place that was made for the emergency brake if it was a right-hand drive. And that comes up through the floorboard, right down in there. It was beautiful for it. Then I ran the hose underneath the passenger seat. It runs fine along right underneath this cover that covers the tank. And you can see it comes out over there and it runs up and into the tank. And I left some extra hose just in case. I may cut that off. This hot water diversion system is going to work a little bit different than how it does on the shower because it's actually in line on the hot water feed going to the faucet. How you would work it is you would turn the valve down. You can hear the pump come on. The pump feeds it. I just heard the water heater kick on. The pump's feeding it back through the diverter valve and back into the tank, so I'm not wasting any water. And once I give it about 15-20 seconds, then I can come over and kick the water on and turn the valve. And now I'm back to working. And it's hot immediately. If I shut it off for a second though, and I turn it back on, I may get a little bit of a cold flow as it starts across the burner. Because there I just heard it light again. Let me see if I get that cold flow in here. How long it lasts, how much water I waste. Ooh, that is hot, hot. Yep, right there, cold. And it's hot again. So it's not much of a cold flow, but it definitely will save water.